I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, you feel the way you do, and this to me, this strikes me as one of those movies like it's gonna be for you whatever you kind of come into it expecting or want it to be, because there's no sparkling writing. There's nothing in there like, oh, that's a great line. So I certainly couldn't recommend it to you on writing, except there were no lines that made me just go like, oh, give me a break already. It was just like, it just kind of was what it was, mostly to be about the action and moving the story forward. Maybe I felt okay with it because I expected worse, or I've seen things that let me down even more. I mean, I kept thinking about Clash of the Titans, that new Clash of the Titans, where I was like, wow, that was actually written terribly, to where it just hurt to listen to. There was nothing exciting in the visuals. The 3D was horrible, and it just was boring. And I was like, you know what? With this, they didn't do a lot with 3D, but it didn't piss me off, and the story moved. I was into it. My girl Frida Pinto is there, and there's a scene where
now we see.
Well, now I'm sure they used a body double, but whoever this body double was, she takes off her clothes and her ass takes up half the screen.
Yeah,
and it was just glorious. Like for me, I was like, okay, now I can hear a chorus of Greek gods right now. But I don't know. It just there was never a point when I sat there going. One thing I will say is that the first half of it seemed to be inspired about getting up and moving and showing you new visual tricks. Okay, this is how we're portraying the Minotaur, or it's Mickey Rourke being that kind of evil boss where you're like, man, it would really suck to work for that guy, because you don't want to you would just lie to him all the time. Mm-hmm. Be like, where is he? Oh, our men captured Theseus.
You can't help but wonder why anyone works for him at all, though.
Well, it seems like the only reason you work for him is because he probably came to your town and killed everybody else.
Yeah.
So you were like, all right, well, I can not get killed now and work for him.
He's the worst boss ever. He's like, okay, Theseus, I'm going to go ahead and need you to come in and die on Tuesday. He's the worst. He doesn't have any monsters. He doesn't have superpowers. All he has is men working with him. Admittedly, some of them big men, but nonetheless men. And he treats them all like shit.
Oh, he absolutely
Even
does.
His biggest, like the guy with the fake Minotaur headdress, so Tarsum can feel like he's being Mary Renault or something, and paraphrasing the original myths.
Yeah.
He's like kicking that guy's ass just for no reason. And you're like, why would anybody put up with this bullshit? You think they'd all be like, look, you know what? We're going to have a new election here. I vote for the Minotaur-headed guy to be the new boss.
Well, it's one of those things where if you're in his army, the good news is the same as the bad news. It's like, hey, dude, you got a promotion. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it.
That means they take out one of your eyes.
Yeah, we're that much closer. But I you know what? There's something he does with the traitor that I love that, because I was just like, man, you're going to betray your man and go to this guy like, well, you guys suck. I'm going to go join their team. And I'm like, we don't want you. Fuck you.
Yeah, but then they do. So it's just like, oh, you're punished, but yeah, we're going to totally hire you.
Yeah, we're going to take your information,
yeah,
and we're going to fuck you up but not kill you, so you have to stay around and be my bitch the rest of the movie.
I don't know. I didn't buy that type of extreme ridiculousness that this had here. And you say the script wasn't terrible the same way Clash of Titans was, and I'll agree with you in as so much as Clash of the Titans had lines that were so poorly written that, yeah, they made you go, oh my god, what the fuck? Who wrote that? This is nothing but just like getting from point A to point B. There's no style to it. There's no art to it. There's nothing. I mean, all the lines are so workmanlike. It's like, I don't even know how else to describe it, but that really, I mean, they're like, okay, well, we just need to get to the next scene where people's heads are exploding because they're being slammed into with the giant battle axes. And you know what? I would even like those scenes better if they had spent some more money on them, because I just thought that it looked not much better than the games I play on my PlayStation 3. I thought it was like, yeah, it's super violent, and if I had a controller in my hand, I'd be like, this is awesome! But I just felt like I was watching somebody else play a game.
You know what? I can't discount anything you just said.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, you don't expect a fight from me. This is one of those where I come in where I go like, hey, if you didn't like the film, I'm not going to get in your face and go like, you didn't understand it or you're just wrong. I'm like, all right, you have valid points. And I could just tell you that I saw it on a level to where it worked for me, because as far as the dialogue being workmanlike, getting you from point A to point B, yeah. And normally I hate that. But to me, this movie was all about getting from point A to point B, moving you through the action scene. So I was like, all right, you know what? That's all it's here for. That's what this movie is about. I don't feel like it's taking me away from something. Like I didn't feel like I was getting ripped off from that. And as far as it looking like, like the action of a video game, yeah, I saw that. I thought about what's the big, is it God of War?
God of War, yeah. Some people have been comparing it to that, and yet I didn't feel that at all. God of War, it's like if you see like a clip from it in the commercial, go, wow, God of War. When you watch it all put together, you're like, oh, well, not really. That's pretty goddamn epic, and this is, all things considered, by comparison, on a pretty much a smaller scale,
yeah,
where you can't compare it to
that. Right. But it has that video game look, and you know what? I mean, something you can attest to is that I get about as much enjoyment watching other people play video games as I do playing them myself.
True.
So that's probably another reason why it worked for me in ways that it didn't work for you.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, there was just never that point where I thought, oh, what a piece of shit. I was like, well, at times it works and times it doesn't. And then more often than not, I felt like it was doing everything it set out to do.
And I'll tell you this. The one level that I did enjoy this film on was just how incredibly, I don't know if it's artistic or just ridiculous, some of the stuff that Tarsem does to make his people wear and some of the set design. Like, the gods all have these ridiculous headgear.
They do. They do.
I mean, it's insane.
I mean, it's more like what you would see on a Greek mythology influence float at Carnival.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's it, exactly. I was going to go with a gay thing, but that's more correct.
Yeah.
It's probably the same thing. I was like going to go Studio 54 or whatever. But yeah. No, it is. It's a Carnival float of the Greek gods. And it's just laughable. You can't, like I said, the movie needed more levity, because when you have shit like that, and I'm just like, come on, man. And they're all so serious all the time. There's no funny things until Stephen Dorff goes, wagga, wagga, wagga.
No, he's not that bad.
They needed a funny god, and there was no funny god,
Yeah, throw Dionysus in there.
Something. I don't know. It's weird because, like I said, it's such a bizarre attempt to it's almost like using the way studios use branding, the way they take, everybody knows what that is and it's popular, so we'll just do whatever the fuck we want as long as that name is prominent, right?
Sure.
And it doesn't matter, we'll make money. It's like they're doing that with the Greek gods here, because this is not anyone's idea of this these original mythologies at all. And towards the end, there's this attempt at trying to say, but don't you see how it was like through time they were reinterpreted into the myths? I was like, no, I don't actually. I think that was pretty fucking lame. The way they did that.
I guess the thing is, like, by the time we get to this place where they're doing it with Clash of the Titans, I was like, well, this isn't how I saw this mythology growing up. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
With the Hercules TV series, I'm like, all right, they've mucked around and changed it here. Just like with every interpretation, it gets done so much. So now that they're doing it now, I'm like, sure, why not? That seems to be the thing to do.
And you're not wrong in that, but like I said, it is just a complete change to everything, to the tone, to who these people were, to everything. I mean, it's just like, wow, this is not even mildly like those stories. And I don't know, I guess that's what bugged me to some level. I mean, it didn't, if it had been a good movie, it probably wouldn't have bugged me at all. But I was like, I just feel like you're wasting my time. I don't even have the pleasure of that, making those connections.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, not even letting me have that. I thought that would be the saving grace. But no. The saving grace is a bit of gore and ridiculous headgear. What does that tell you? I don't know, man. This is me, and I know it's a different take. We had a large group that went to go see it at the XD Theater up in Pflugerville.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a 70-30 split, with 70 didn't like, and 30 were like, well, it was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody really did like it. They didn't speak up. So
yeah.
I don't know. They may not have, because we were all like, oh.
Well, you and I talked about this the other day, the phenomenon of, like, what happens when you go to a midnight movie, like how much of a hassle it is to do that, and what like, it's almost like, you know what? To satisfy me for what I had to come out here, you better live up to at least, you have to come up to this line right here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, for me, just checking it out on a leisurely Veterans Day afternoon, I don't know. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough. What do you give it?
Yeah, I kind of give it a low matinee.
Wow. Oh, matinee. I mean, I think one of the other guys felt that way, kinda. He's edging towards that, but I think at least me and one other guy depreciated him rather quickly with our snide remarks and our raised eyebrows.
Hey man, I stand by liking Spider-Man 3, so I'm immune to that kind of thing at this point.
You are, and certainly like the reviews on this have been kind of split. I mean, they tend towards like the negative side. Like I would say that most critics, it sound like if they're going to give it anything, would be a high rental from the numbers I've seen. But
yeah,
I can't go that far. The more I think about it, the less I like this film. I have a feeling if I saw it again, I'd fall asleep 10 minutes into it. I think this is some old bullshit. I really do. I look at it about the same as The Last Airbender. I was like,
really?
Wow, this is like lots of like stuff moving around, a plot that doesn't really sort of make a lot of sense, not much continuity in that at all, and lots of ridiculously overblown evil and characters, like, well, okay, I don't care. I don't give a shit. There's nothing here for me. Both based on something that's really great and doing something completely fucking tedious and awful with it.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, like, Greek myths are way more open to interpretation than The Last Airbender, a series that had just ended, like, a year or two before that movie was made.
I'm not comparing it on that level. I'm just saying that, like, both of them, yes, had the quality of being bad reinterpretations of something.
Wow, yeah. I would never even dream of comparing those two.
I really did. I can't say I hated it, because then it would be a fuck you, and it didn't make me angry. It just made me want to close my eyes and just go to sleep. There was just nothing going on. And I didn't, mind you. Still haven't. Because to this day, I'm scared that the little ghost hand will come out and grab me like it did Carol Ann if I fall asleep.
Of course. Yeah. It's waiting.
It is always waiting.
Like, damn it, he didn't fall asleep during Unstoppable? Shit.
Yeah, I know. We thought for sure that was the one.